Abu Dhabi, the final race of the season. The World Championship is about to be decided under a bleeding sunset. Cold-eyed young man in emerald green stands alone on the track, helmet under his arm. No smile, no hesitation. Across from him, a man in scarlet. World Champion badge on his chest, mouth open in disbelief. Kosuke. They were teammates, then rivals. Now, with the world title on the line, one question burns hotter than the desert air. 1 year earlier, qualifying. Ryota's car snapped sideways at full speed. A brutal crash. Everyone called it driver error. The team didn't renew his contract. They blamed team chemistry. The principal couldn't even meet his eyes. Ryota took the blame in silence. He didn't argue. He didn't defend himself. He simply vanished.
He was never quite at our level. Some drivers just can't handle the pressure.
But today, 21 races later, Ryota is back, in emerald green, racing for the rival team, and leading the championship. He was his teammate last year. Now he's driving for the rival team, and he's here to steal his title. The team publicly called it driver error. Privately, the principal wouldn't say a word.
Driver error. As if I'd forget how to drive overnight.
The principal avoided him. The contract disappeared. No fight, no explanation.
They think I am broken, but I've never been more focused.
Then the rival team's principal reached out. He'd analyzed the telemetry. He knew something was off.
That crash wasn't your fault. If you want a fresh start, come race for us.
I don't need a fresh start. I need a car that can win.
He signed the contract. Emerald green replaced scarlet. In pre-season testing, Ryota set blistering times. The paddock began to whisper. The season opener was weeks away. Ryota hadn't said a word about the past. His silence spoke louder than any engine. The first race of the season arrived. The paddock hummed with one story. The former teammates, now in rival colors.
He's not a threat. He's just filling the grid. Some guys are born to be number 2.
But on track, the emerald green car carved through the field. Ryota's pace silenced every critic.
One more corner. Game over.
Ryota lunged down the inside. Clean. Decisive. Kosuke had no answer. He crossed the finish line first. No emotion. No fist pump. Just cold, precise victory.
Beginner's luck. One race means nothing. The championship isn't won in a single afternoon.
It's not luck. It never was.
The paddock was stunned. The former number 2 had not just beaten the champion, he'd humiliated him. But Ryota only walked past the cameras, eyes already set on the next race. The season had just begun. Between races, the war of words began. Kosuke fired the first shot.
He's fast in a straight line. So is a train. Let's see him on a real driver's circuit.
At his own press conference, Ryota gave a reply that lasted exactly 7 words.
I just drive. The rest is noise.
The room went dead, silent. Kosuke's mind games had landed on stone. The next race was at a circuit where last year, Kosuke had led Ryota home in a 1-2. A scarlet parade. This time, the emerald car never saw a scarlet challenger. It led every single lap.
This was your kingdom. Now it's my hunting ground.
After the checkered flag, Kosuke stood motionless across the paddock. Ryota met his stare without a flicker. No words, no celebration. Just the cold arithmetic of points and a silence that drowned every doubt. Race after race, the pattern held. Every circuit where they'd finished Scarlet 1, Emerald 2, now finished in reverse. Ryota collected trophies without a smile, each victory a silent subtraction from Kosuke's legacy.
The car is undrivable. Are you even listening?
Every track he called his own. I take it back.
The press scented blood. At every media session, They asked the same question. Can anyone stop Ryota?
I am not here to be stopped.
He's just a machine in the cockpit. But machines break. They all do.
But his own team was fracturing. The Scarlet Garage grew quieter, the data screens more frantic. By mid-season, the gap had swollen to 47 points. The championship was slipping through Scarlet fingers, but Ryota only stared ahead, eyes on a trophy he'd never held. The real war had just started. In the Scarlet Garage, whispers turned to glances. Kosuke's race engineer avoided eye contact with everyone, especially his driver.
It was a standard fuel mix. Nothing unusual. Everything was within regulations.
One night in the paddock, Ryota found a plain envelope slipped under his motorhome door. No name, no return.
Anonymous mail. Could be sabotage, or the truth.
Inside, a copy of the fuel order from last year's qualifying. A single line was circled in yellow. The mixture ratio was wrong. Deliberately.
The crash wasn't my mistake. It was premeditated.
The engineer's signature was at the bottom. Kosuke's race engineer had ordered a lean fuel mix that would cause exactly the snap that put Ryota into the wall.
He wanted me slow. He wanted me out.
Ryota held the evidence that could destroy his old team. But the anonymous sender remained a shadow. The order came from the engineer alone. For 12 months, he'd carried the suspicion. Now he held the proof. The silence in the room was heavier than any engine. Ryota's own engineers cross-checked the telemetry. The fuel mixture would have caused exactly the snap at exactly the wrong moment.
No question now. The engineer did it. Kosuke never knew.
He held the power to destroy the Scarlet team. One press conference, and their season would end in disgrace.
If I use this, I become what I hate. A driver who wins in the steward's room, not on the track. I didn't come back for revenge. I came back because I am faster. That's all they need to see.
In his motorhome, Ryota flicked a lighter. The flame caught the edge of the fuel order copy.
This secret won't win me the championship. It can only taint it.
He watched the ash curl. No blackmail, no leak. Just cold, clean fuel, and colder ambition.
When I beat him, it will be because I deserve it. Not because his engineer cheated.
He locked the original evidence away. The war would be won on asphalt, not in headlines.
Every session the car feels wrong. What are you not telling me?
The data is normal. Maybe you are just pushing too hard.
Pushing too hard. I am the world champion. This car is a coffin.
Across the paddock, Ryota watched the Scarlet Garage unravel. He didn't smile. He just observed. During the next race, Kosuke missed a braking point, a slow-motion mistake that cost him another position to the Emerald car.
He's not fighting me. He's fighting ghosts he can't name.
Ryota's not some genius. I just have a bad car. That's all.
But the engineer flinched at every mention of the fuel system. His guilt was carving cracks through the team. Ryota's silence was louder than any accusation. It made the Scarlet camp hear every rumor, suspect every setting. He didn't need to speak. The championship was already being decided by the secrets no one dared voice. The penultimate race, Ryota could seal the championship if he finished ahead of Kosuke. The points gap, 47. He led from the start. Every lap was a countdown to a title. Then the dashboard lit up with warnings. A gearbox sensor failure. The car limped.
Not like this. I am not losing because of a part.
Kosuke swept past. No challenge. The Scarlet car disappeared toward the checkered flag.
Finally. This is what a real champion looks like.
Ryota nursed the car to second place. The lead evaporated. Now, only 7 points separated them.
7 points, 1 race. I didn't keep the secret to lose now.
Abu Dhabi would be winner takes all. The championship would be decided under the desert sun. Ryota climbed out of the car without a word. The next race would be a fight for everything. In the rival team's motorhome, the principal laid a folder on the table. Ryota recognized the fuel order inside.
Why let the championship depend on luck? Use this, and Kosuke will be disqualified before the race even starts.
Number. I am not here to win in a hearing room. I'll beat him on the track, or not at all. If I can't win clean, the championship is fake. I'd rather lose with my foot on the pedal.
In the Scarlet Garage, Kosuke's engineer was trembling. Every knock on the door made him flinch.
It was just a mix-up. No one can prove it. I'll be fine if they win the race.
Kosuke rounded the corner and stopped. He'd never seen his engineer look so hunted.
What's wrong with you? You look like a man who's seen a penalty notice.
It's nothing. Just pre-race nerves. Focus on the race, Kosuke. That's all that matters.
Ryota stood alone, looking toward Abu Dhabi. The evidence stayed locked away. He'd settle this at 300 kilometers per 8 hour. Abu Dhabi qualifying, the final shootout, 7 points between them and the title.
One clean lap, one honest shot.
The green visor snapped down. The emerald car tore through the desert heat. Sector after sector, it painted the timing screens purple. When he crossed the line, the number 1 flashed on the board. Pole position. His crew erupted. Ryota did not celebrate. Kosuke pushed his last qualifying lap to the limit. The scarlet car wobbled, but he snatched second. Front row.
Second. Fine. I'll lead after turn 1.
Later in the paddock, they crossed paths. A desert of silence stretched between them.
I don't care where I start. I know where I'll finish.
He thinks he's untouchable. Every machine has a failure point.
Abu Dhabi had seen many battles, none so personal. The front row was locked. Only one driver would leave as champion. In the emerald green garage, the principal pulled Ryota aside. A final warning before the grid.
Kosuke is desperate. He might try something at turn 1. Be ready to back out if he dives.
I'll be ready, but I won't back out for anyone.
Across the paddock, Kosuke's engineer sat alone on a tool chest, head in hands. The Scarlet team walked past him in silence.
If they find out, if he loses, it's over for me.
Kosuke approached his car, saw his engineer, and frowned. The usual pre-race handshake didn't happen.
Whatever is eating you, bury it. I need a perfect car today.
The grid formed under the desert sun. Engines began to fire. The sound was a physical force. Ryota sat motionless in the cockpit, visor down, hands on the wheel. No movement, no wasted energy. The red lights blinked on. In seconds, the title would be decided. Everything had led to this. The lights went out. The emerald car launched like a predator off the line, straight into the lead before turn 1. Kosuke right behind. Kosuke darted alongside, wheels almost interlocking in the braking zone, but Ryota held his line without flinch. Lap after lap, the scarlet nose hunted the green gearbox. A constant shadow, never more than a second behind, waiting for a crack.
He can't keep this pace forever. The pressure will break something. I just need one opening.
Into the hairpin, Kosuke lunged late. A wild dive down the inside, tires smoking, the car sideways. Ryota anticipated the move, shifted outside to let him through, then crossed back under him. Clean, no contact.
Desperation is not speed, it's just noise. I keep my line and wait.
Mid-race, the tires began to fade. The gap wavered. Kosuke smelled blood in the warm desert air. Still, the emerald car held. Every defense precise, every exit calculated. No wasted motion, no panic, but the scarlet pressure never eased. The championship was being carved out in tenths of a second, lap after relentless lap. Debris at turn 8. A front wing end plate shattered across the track. The safety car boards lit up. Full course yellow. The field bunched. Ryota's 1.5-second advantage evaporated into nothing, replaced by a slow train of rivals.
Box, Box, fresh softs. We'll cover him and hold the position.
The scarlet car dove into the pit lane. Tires changed in a blur. Ryota stayed out. No call. Gamble accepted.
Older tires. Cold track. If I pit, he takes the lead. I won't hand him that.
The safety car peeled away. The restart came with a roar. Kosuke lined up directly behind, on fresh rubber. The scarlet car lunged. Late on the brakes into turn 1, desperate and close.
He's slower on warm-up. One mistake and this championship is mine.
Within 2 laps, the gap was half a second. The Scarlet Shark was closing in, irresistible. The championship compressed into the final 10 laps. Rubber against rubber, will against will. The final frantic lap began. Kosuke threw everything at the emerald car. His scarlet machine dancing on the edge of adhesion, searching for a crack.
72 corners, 72 chances. I only need to be perfect once.
Through the stadium section, Kosuke lunged and braked impossibly late. The scarlet car wobbled, tires screaming, millimeters from the barriers.
No room to bail. I have to make this stick.
But the tires cried surrender. Kosuke ran wide across the runoff, a puff of smoke the only evidence of his overreach. Ryota never flinched, never changed his line. He simply drove through the gap that desperation had opened. The checkered flag waved. An emerald arrow crossed the line. World champion. World. In the cockpit, Ryota didn't scream. He didn't punch the air. He just released the wheel hand steady and let the silence speak.
No team, no fuel, just me. They all said I wasn't their level. Look where I am.
He climbed out of the car, helmet still on, and stared at the scarlet garage. The war was won, but the record was not yet honest. The podium rose under the purple lights. Confetti swirled. The World Championship trophy gleamed, waiting for its new owner. Kosuke climbed onto the second step. His scarlet suit seemed duller. His shoulders slumped. The crowd noise was a distant hum.
I lost to a ghost. A driver they threw away. How do I face the garage after this?
Ryota accepted the trophy with both hands. No smile, no salute. He looked down at the champion's silver as if it were a tax statement. The crowd expected a fist pump, a scream, a tear, something, anything. They got only stillness, a cold statue bathed in purple light. Kosuke's eyes glistened. He stared up at Ryota, searching for a glimmer of arrogance, a smirk he could hate. He found none. As the anthems played, Ryota didn't close his eyes. He scanned the crowd, the paddock, the scarlet garage. His gaze was a ledger, not a celebration. When the ceremony ended, Kosuke lingered on the stage, watching the emerald back disappear. The silence between them was a final, unanswered question. Inside the media center, Ryota took his seat. The championship trophy rested on the table beside a plain manila folder. Reporters leaned forward. The world expected a victory speech. Ryota's hand rested on the folder. The room held its breath. Ryota leaned toward the microphone. The room's hum died. The championship trophy caught the light, but his eyes were on the folder.
Before I answer your questions, there's something I need to show you.
He opened the folder. Inside were telemetry sheets, fuel mixture logs, and a document with a highlighted line dated 1 year ago.
This is the real reason I crashed last year. The fuel mixture was altered deliberately. Kosuke never knew. The order came from his engineer, and his engineer alone.
He closed the folder and extended it toward the FIA delegate seated in the front row. The official took it without a word. The delegate opened the folder, scanning the documents with a practiced expression. The room was utterly silent.
I didn't come back for revenge. I came back so the record would be honest.
A murmur rippled through the journalists. Camera shutters clicked. The true story was now in the hands of the sport. Ryota sat back. His statement was done. The evidence was no longer his to carry. The journalists erupted with shouted questions, but Ryota only stared ahead. His part was finished. The FIA delegate rose from his seat, the folder tucked under his arm. He left without a word, his expression unreadable. Minutes later, two officials approached the Scarlet Garage. Kosuke's race engineer stood frozen, clipboard trembling in his hands.
I didn't think he'd ever.
Backstage, Kosuke stood before a monitor, his world collapsing in real time. His mouth was open, but no sound came.
He carried this for a year. He never said a word. And I called him not our level.
Ryota rose from the table, championship trophy in hand. He didn't look at the journalists. He simply walked out. The engineer was escorted away, his head bowed. The Scarlet Garage stood in stunned silence. The truth finally unmasked. The desert sun sank lower, painting the circuit in fire. The championship was decided, but the sport had been handed a mirror. Ryota had won on pace. The record, at last, was beginning to be honest. In the emerald green garage, Ryota stood alone. The trophy rested on a workbench, his helmet beside it. The door opened. Kosuke stepped inside. His scarlet suit was stained with sweat and defeat. For a long moment, neither spoke. The air between them was heavy with a year of unspoken words.
I didn't know about the fuel, about any of it.
I know.
Kosuke reached up and slowly removed his scarlet cap. He held it at his side, head slightly bowed.
I called you not our level. I was wrong.
Ryota looked at the cap, then at Kosuke. He gave a single nod, almost imperceptible. No handshake, no embrace, but in that small gesture, the past was sealed away. Kosuke turned and walked out, the garage door closing softly behind him. Ryota was alone again, and it was enough. Outside, a crowd of journalists had gathered. Cameras clicked as Kosuke emerged, his cap still in hand.
Ryota deserved this championship. More than I ever knew. I was wrong about him, and I am sorry it took a year to say it.
The statement spread instantly. News feeds carried the image of a humbled champion clearing his former teammate's name. Ryota was called to a final press conference. He sat with the trophy, still expressionless, as reporters fired questions.
I never wanted an apology. I just wanted the record to reflect what happened on track.
A journalist asked if he felt vindicated. Ryota paused for a long moment, then gave his final answer.
Vindication is noise. The championship is the only truth that matters.
The headlines that night read, "The honest champion." Not the loudest, not the most dramatic, simply the one who had set the record straight. Ryota looked down at the trophy, then out at the desert circuit, now dark and empty. The season was over, the title was his, and the sport, for once, had a story worth remembering. The circuit was quiet now, the grandstands empty. The desert wind erased every footprint except one. Ryota walked slowly through the paddock, the championship trophy held loosely in one hand. His emerald suit glowed in the dying light. He passed the podium scaffolding, the purple lights now dimmed. The stage where he had lifted the trophy still smelled of champagne and silence. He stopped and looked back. Not at the garage, not at the press room, at the top step of the podium.
A year ago, I had nothing but a broken car and a lie. Today, the lie is gone.
He turned and continued down the empty lane, past the hospitality units, past the silent garages. No crowd, no cameras, just a driver and his championship. Walking into the desert twilight, he had not come back for revenge. He had come back so the record would be honest, and now, under a bleeding sunset, it was. He disappeared into the gold and purple, a champion without a crowd, and that was enough. Long after the crowds left, the Yas Marina circuit fell silent. A single figure moved through the paddock one last time. The championship trophy was packed away. No parade, no speech, just the quiet satisfaction of a job completed. He passed the Scarlet Garage one final time. The lights were off. The crew had gone. Only the memory of a season remained. He paused, not out of hatred, but out of closure. The man he once called teammate had finally understood. He was his teammate last year, now driving for the rival team. But the title he stole wasn't about revenge. It was about proving, with cold precision, that the fastest driver belongs in the record books. He never spoke of the betrayal again. The evidence had done its work. Now, only the honest number one remained. The desert winds swallowed his footsteps. The sun sank below the palm trees. The circuit became a silhouette. He didn't come back for revenge. He came back so the record would be honest. And under that bleeding sunset, it was.